Hi, Tucker. I'm Todd. Hi, Todd. I'm Tucker. Hi, Tucker. I'm Todd. Hi, Todd. I'm Tucker.
Hey there, I'm Todd.
And I'm Tucker.
Good evening, Craig.
Good evening to you, Captor and Punisher.
So what's on the agenda for tonight?
What's on the agenda for tonight? Well, do we have enough of a script that we could do a read through of the Joshua bit?
Not really. It's not finished.
Oh,
What I've been doing is page 1 is on like its 99th draft and page 3 is only on its second draft. And that's what I've been doing.
I probably wouldn't be done a script by now either.
It's mostly done. I can confidently say it's mostly done. I need to
Connect the dots.
Yeah, I'm kind of drafting it as I go. So like the first page has been redone like 9 times.
It's funny how these things like turn into your fetus.
Yeah, and like I keep going back and adding new stage directions or removing some or cutting bits out and adding in where Craig should put in voiceover.
Well, and also because we haven't like really been doing this, we don't have any what do you call them, muscle memories or anything like that. Like we don't have. You could discover along the way. You start doing something, you realize, oh, I actually have the ability to do that, and then it changes the way that you perceive your own imagination.
Yeah, actually that's been happening a lot. Like I've been going back and rethinking stuff and be like, no, that this should be this.
Mm-hmm.
This goes over here. And so and I've at least 3 or 4 times I've run into a block where I realize instead of writer's block, I kind of realize that I've painted myself into a corner,
Yeah,
and all I have to do is copy, cut, and paste something into a different spot, and then suddenly the flow is fixed.
it's really interesting how that works.
So it's been like 2 steps forward, 1 step back as I go.
I guess that's what they refer to as the artistic process.
It's been a process.
I'm excited. I mean, I'm excited about the prospect of doing a table read. I'm very excited about
Now,
doing my very own table read on my very own show for the first time ever.
do you want to record reading the script, or do you want to actually have time to look at it first?
Oh, I'm happy to look at it first, but I just got my panties, my fantasy panties in a bunch. My fantasies in a bunch. I guess not in a bunch because that usually means like frustrated, right?
Wow,
I'm a little bit rambly.
you're excited. I'll buy that. You're excited.
I'm excited for reading a script, but I'm also excited to actually start working on some more of these premises that we've actually started building up because some of them are hilarious. But also to determine if do we want Craig's form to stay the same, or does it change each season, or does it change when it needs to opportunistically? Because I totally forgot that he was a toaster when I made him into a cardboard box.
He can be whatever we want him to be, and since he's technically just a little USB drive that's plugged
Right.
into whatever prop he
Actually,
happens
yeah.
to be possessing, we can upgrade him as part of a scene. Like we can just put him into something else if we want
That's
to.
actually that's actually sort of perfect then, is that he is mostly the USB and he becomes whatever we need whenever we need it. We can install him into an RC car, we can install him into our enemy's smart house shit or whatever.
Putting him into an RC car would be a ton of fun.
But that's his little Deus Ex Machina magic ability that can get him in and out of every. That makes his little. He's a master of disguise skeleton key guy.
Yeah, he can be anything that happens to have a USB slot.
And also, like, I don't know, have you listened to much of the new episode? I was having fun using the different text-to-speech voices, giving Craig different like voices for different personalities.
Yes, I'm sure it was a laugh riot for all.
I listened to the entire thing.
Okay.
I choked on my drink when Craig said, "Is that why they call you Tucker?"
I actually like his ability to be the hindsight editor voice.
And I like your ability to chew your cauliflower pizza directly into the microphone. Top shelf shit.
Yes, and that does seem like the kind of thing he would do too. 'Cause
Mhm.
that's how he takes cracks at us, is with his snark in editing.
Yeah.
And also, he made a pretty good sassy teenage girl.
Yeah, I like that one as well.
Gee, thanks, Dad.
So, do you have a favorite premise to take us away with?
Yes. Well, so I'm looking at some of these, and I feel like I feel like we worked on and talked about the idea of the silent J, but I don't know if that was in one of the lost recordings, maybe.
It was in one of the lost recordings, and it was actually a very brief segue right into a mariachi band made out of letters.
Right, I remember. That's written down. Do we still like those ideas? So preposterous. Okay. I really like the visual joke of the silent J, and I feel like it has to be in there.
I liked it plenty, but there wasn't a whole lot we could do with it besides just make the joke and then use it as a transitionary scene to the next joke, which was the mariachi band playing the Three Amigos as instruments.
Right. Okay. So then let's briefly retread that trail. Retread our steps.
We can certainly try. Silent J.
Silent J came from an idea in which the two of us would be sitting in our podcast, and one of us would make an example and say, like Silent J, and the other would say, "You mean Silent Bob? J was the annoying one." And he would be corrected, "No, Silent J," and it pans to the letter J, dressed as Silent Bob. And then I think that what we had come up with was that A, he was smoking a joint, and B, there was a suggestion, there needed to be a suggestion that he was in some way Latin. And I think we said that there would be a sting of like flamenco guitar.
Yes, naturally there has to be a flamenco guitar, and
So the flamenco guitar then is how the Three Amigos are introduced. Is that how that worked?
yeah, pretty much, because it started with the obvious kind of implication that the silent J was Latin in nature,
Right.
because Jose, ole, but that's him, and then we immediately segue to a whole bunch of different letters, including an upside down question mark.
Right.
And they're
Yes.
playing the Three Amigos as instruments. One of which necessarily is a flamenco guitar. So it was a sound bite that immediately took us into the next scene.
Precisely. And so the letters are the letters dressed up as mariachi players, and then they're playing the Three Amigos who are also dressed up the same way?
Yeah, pretty much. That was what that was. And eventually we decided that they were playing on a yacht full of Twitch streaming.
I don't know if I want to
Full of Twitch streaming hot tub enthusiasts. We called it the Thought Yacht.
I don't know if that's necessary.
No, I'm pretty sure we agreed at the time that this was all very unnecessary, but we kept going with it anyways, and we had the Thought Yacht.
I mean, the more that I say it, the more I do actually like the Thought Yacht, but I don't know if it needs to be attached to the Mariachi Boys. I think that they are there, so...
Yeah, I agree. We can separate the Thought Yacht from this mariachi band.
Right.
The mariachi band can really just be like a second stage to the very same kind of transitory scene. So it's just an expansion of the Silent J into an entire little band of these same letter characters.
Right, and it's sort of a 1-2 punch of short, quick jokes. And then
and then we immediately abandon it before anybody can get too mad.
Right, okay, that's good. So that's them done. Those two are out of the way.
Yes, that is the Silent J and then the mariachi band playing the Three Amigos.
Do we use these two jokes to introduce the idea of the dead joke bin? Do we toss these two into the bin and that's when we are introduced to it?
I think that is an excellent introduction to the dead joke bin, because we're never going to do that one again. They'll never let us get away with it.
Right.
there should already be a couple jokes in the bin. One of them will be the dead horse wife or girlfriend from the trailer in the last episode.
Okay, yes. Okay, dead jokes. I'm gonna make a list right now of dead jokes. There's the dead horse.
I mean, there are Columbo's immigrant children. Some of them can go in there.
Oh, right. And so maybe that can be a prompt to, at some point, somebody will ask why those children are in the bin, and that's when we can bring back the story of how they got there, and that can tell the whole story of the sea can.
Just another breadcrumb from Columbo's dark and sordid past.
Origin of sea can.
There was also, there's probably no harm in putting Basil Fawlty in there.
In the bin?
Yeah, why not?
Is he partially zombified?
I don't know if he's zombified, but he's definitely like a mess. Bloody. Probably got like an eye patch or something.
Okay.
He's a grizzled veteran of the zombie apocalypse.
That's decent. That's a decent pile.
That was probably my favorite one of the three in our very first shot at making content.
Was the Basil faulty? You know what? I honestly don't remember a single thing about it.
Yeah, I don't remember a whole lot about it. He definitely killed his wife.
Did he actually?
I mean, wait.
Oh, I feel so stupid.
I mean, I kind of wanted to kill her several times watching the show.
I noticed Todd failed to mention here that he used to espouse his animal lust for Sybil Fawlty through much of his university years.
What do I have in here? Vaudeville used to get a lot. I took such shitty notes. Permit for trafficking.
Yep, that was the human trafficking permit. Well, human trafficking is bad unless you have a permit.
Columbo unmasked. Columbo always interrupted. Burp fart time skip.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was a lady wound up doing that and like winked out of existence into another reality, and in fact she winked into ours. And then
Right.
later that was how she got back
Yeah.
out too.
Why were we talking about the dead joke pile?
Because we're gonna throw the Silent J in it. The Silent J and the mariachi band have to go in there.
Okay, so I'm gonna check those off our list here, and we'll just keep going through the list.
All right.
Now you posted a WAP. North Korean defectors react to Cardi B.
Oh, that is a while ago. Yeah, South Korea confirms that a North Korea defector swam back to the north after seeing Cardi B.
Oh, I didn't read them in order. I didn't realize that that's what was being suggested. That's very funny. Well, maybe he swam back because her pussy was so wet. There was he was caught up in the current.
Wait, is she the one who's responsible for the wet ass pussy?
I assume that's what that song is about. My pussy is wet ass.
Right. I guess that makes sense, wet ass pussy. Yeah, frankly, I would take one look at that and think, you know what? North Korea doesn't sound so bad right about now. But I do like the idea that he was swept up in the tide of her wet ass pussy, and actually, he didn't swim back so much as he struggled and nearly drowned back.
As he's watching the reaction, it's like the water comes pouring out of the screen. Water or whatever, the pussy juice. What are we supposed to call it?
I don't think we're allowed to call it anything.
The ejaculate.
Vaginal discharge.
Okay, but that's a negative connotation.
Yeah, well, a man nearly died.
Okay, you're right. It is a man did nearly die. Okay, so are we? You know that Louis C.K. bit where he's talking about like we shouldn't call vagina's vagina. That makes it sound like it's like a Godzilla creature terrorizing a city.
He definitely didn't like pussy, because to him it sounds like it's written with big pink balloon letters. Pussy.
Right. But yeah, so maybe we are villainizing. Well, and I was going for the the Godzilla imagery. So Cardi B, I mean, I feel like I'm doing a South Park bit now. Cardi B's vagina is flooding major metropolises.
It's certainly causing a minor calamity enough that it's swept this poor man who managed to escape North Korea right back in. Just when I thought I was out, you know.
Okay, so he was trying to escape, but as he passes like the harbor or whatever, the camera zooms out and there's a gigantic Cardi B vagina trudging through the ocean like a Godzilla, tossing up gigantic waves, and one of the waves pushes him back to shore.
So just a vagina, just like a disembodied vagina.
Yeah, and it's doing Godzilla shrieks and like lasers are flying out of it and whatnot.
Not lasers, just really dangerous squirts from that wet ass pussy.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, are the squirts okay? Is it corrosive?
No, it's just really slippery, and it's there's a lot of pressure behind it.
Okay, I like the idea that it's really slippery. Okay, yes, there's a lot of pressure, so people are getting like hosed basically. Like it's like super high pressure.
Yeah, it's like everybody's getting beaten down with an actual fire hose.
And so most people are reacting as though it is a calamity, like in a what do they call the film? What's the film genre? Disaster, like in a disaster film. But so are some people, they get hit, and so some people are like falling over and slipping around, and it's sort of comical. But are other people really enjoying it then?
I don't think anybody in their right mind is going to enjoy being sprayed with all of this slime.
Okay, so nobody's having a good time.
No, only creeps are having a good time.
Okay, so we do show some creeps who are like really relishing in it.
Well, they're smiling anyways. I like maybe they give the Terminator 2 thumbs up. That can work too, because they'll actually be submerged, but they just have to like hold out their hand, giving the thumbs up.
I like that idea. Yeah, that's good with me. They're submerged, but they have the thumbs up.
But they do have to slowly sink because we have to complete the reference as they disappear into the murky depths of the wet ass pussy slime.
So does somebody complain that they're drowning in pussy?
Naturally, somebody has to. I'm drowning in pussy. Help!
He's like, what? He's like, help! I'm drowning in pussy.
And that is the
I
perfect.
don't know. I feel like
That's the perfect time for Stan to sneer because this guy's drowning in pussy and he's not.
and you're complaining.
Because even though the situation is completely unmanageable, Stan will still snark about it.
Oh, Stan's all mad. Does he have a moment where he's like, "Is everybody drowning in pussy except me?" And then everybody who is drowning yells at the same time, "Yes!" It zooms out. You see the planet.
Why? What kind of platform is Stan on where he's not, or is the water actually just avoiding him? Is it parting around him, Red Sea style?
I don't know. I kind of like the idea. That would be funny, but it would also be funny if he was like just standing on top of the last skyscraper that's not submerged.
Yeah, Stan could just be there. But yes, that needs to be a gag where he complains that somebody else is complaining about drowning in this.
I sort of like the idea that Stan has a helicopter license, and he just shows up at things are happening with his helicopter. He shows up with Columbo to save the day.
Yeah,
He's Columbo's pilot.
I think it's perfectly fair for Stan to be very multi-talented, including having a helicopter pilot's license. And Columbo definitely has to be there.
So Columbo shows up because he is our Deus Ex Machina. Columbo shows up to resolve the situation when we figure out what the wet ass pussy's motivation is. But as they show up in the helicopter, that's when Stan sees everybody and yells, "Jesus, is everybody drowning pussy except for me?" And Columbo says something along the lines like, "Yeah, it looks like it. That seems to be the case. And one more thing."
No, because Stan's going to take one look over to Columbo and find that he's already dove in, because Columbo is a massive pervert.
Yes, of course.
He takes one look at this tidal wave of wet ass pussy and he jumps right in because he can't help himself.
Okay, so we have a scene sort of like where Stan mutters whatever his phrase is to Columbo, and he looks over to the where he thinks Columbo is, but he's gone, and so we catch up with Columbo diving, and we catch the last of him saying, "She calls my name."
And one more thing. And then that's the last we see of him in that episode. Like he needs to disappear just as quickly as he appeared.
Perfect. Yeah.
And since he's a bigger pervert than the baby-eating Bishop of Baths and Wells, yeah, he definitely would not resist.
So Columbo is gone now.
Yeah, it's just Stan. It's just Stan here now.
How do we get out of this? Do we stay with Stan for the rest of it? Does it become his story? Do we go back to Defector? Is he dead?
Do we ever correctly go back to anybody?
I don't know. I was almost thinking maybe we just used him to introduce the fact that Japan or Korea or whatever is under attack from a wet ass pussy, and then he was killed off. He was killed off.
Yeah, he dies off screen. Like he's just the intro. He's the cold start of the episode.
Right. So it's not about him. Okay.
Yeah, he made it. He's like, I'm free. I've made it. And then you hear the scream, the screech, the Godzilla screech, and then this wet ass pussy ruins this guy's day.
How the hell does this end? Does it? Okay, do we do this whole thing? We've been with this story the whole time, and then we zoom out through a TV and we're watching news coverage of this event, and then we're out through whatever room that TV is in?
Yes. We're not actually there in person, but for some reason Stan is.
Yeah. We've been watching this story. The camera has been watching the story take place.
Oh, someone told Stan there was an ocean of pussy over there.
So we come out through the TV, and are the three amigos watching the news?
Are they watching the news with us?
I'm trying to think. Maybe we link it all together, and the three amigos are smoking pot with Silent J, and they're watching the news, and they say stereotypical stoner joke.
We're allowed to make fun of stoners, so that's okay.
Yeah, we make fun of everybody.
Although, does this occur after we've already thrown all the Silent J and his friends and the three amigos into the dead joke bin? Did we just like resurrect them for the end of the wet ass pussy scene? That's how we end it. That's how we end it.
Maybe that's the joke. They go, hey, weren't we just in the dead joke bin?
No, we come in. That's how we end it. We come in and we're like, hey, what are you doing out of the dead joke bin? And then we immediately grab a couple of shovels and toss them back in, and that's the end of it.
Okay, I'm good with that.
That way we can resolve everything while still resolving nothing. Oh, and in the corner there should be a bucket and a mop.
A bucket and a mop?
You know, obviously. For this wet ass pussy.
Oh. Of course.
Just sitting there, just in the corner of the studio. And that's what the camera pans into at the end. Just like a bucket and a mop. And then, does the Looney Tunes end where it
The bucket and the mop is in the same room?
It's in the studio with us. That's where we're watching the news, I assume. It has to be in whatever room everybody's watching the news from, because that's where we shovel everybody out and back into the dead oak bin from.
And how is the bucket and mop used? Is there a joke that's said, or it's just implied?
It's left totally unsaid. It's just got to be visually a bucket and a mop, because that's part of the song.
Is it actually? I don't know.
A bucket and a mop for this wet ass pussy. You're gonna need a bucket and a mop. That's what it said.
Is that how it goes? Okay.
Yeah, so we will have just a bucket and a mop sitting there just as a dual gag.
Now my imagination's running awry with that one, because now imagine if it's the Sorcerer's Apprentice character, or a play on that, the magic broom.
Fantasia style? I like that.
Yeah, Fantasia style. Oh, sorry. Is this two different? I don't know. Now I'm excited about the idea of Fantasia style bucket and mops fighting against the white ass pussy.
Well, the song did say that we would need a bucket and a mop, so maybe that's exactly what Stan should be armed with.
Oh, Stan. Yeah, Stan and Columbo showed up with the bucket and the mop that you need for the wet ass pussy.
Columbo, hand me the mop.
That's why they're in a helicopter. It's suspended. It's a gigantic bucket and a mop suspended from the helicopter.
And then Columbo abandons the helicopter to go dive in.
Yeah, because he feels the pull, the magnetic pull.
Yeah, he can't deny that call.
That
It's,
siren song.
what a fucking pervert.
Okay, that's actually that makes it kind of clever then. So in that scene, they have the gigantic bucket and the mop, and then maybe there's actually a battle scene between the pussy and the mop. And then that's when it's on the news and it zooms out and you've got the characters in the room and you've got us come in, punish them. And then you notice in the background as we leave the room and turn the lights off, the now de-anthropomorphized bucket in the mop is leaning in the corner. And it's like little theme song plays or whatever.
Yeah, just like that.
Beautiful. It's like we actually know what we're doing. We can write TV.
Yeah, almost.
We're on the cusp.
We've got her finger on the pulse, just not on the wet ass pussy.
Yeah, my finger slipped on the wet ass pussy and hit the pulse.
It is so slippery.
Okay, so Three Amigos, that's out of the way.
Yeah, it's out of the way, like, fatally. We kill it.
So the next ones that are written on our list is, I mean, we have Matthew McConaughey, and so I don't know where did that just come with our fascination of the fact that he's got a YouTube channel?
I don't know. For me, it's his super weird energy.
He's got a weird energy. So we said that his telepathic. Oh, we said that he was going to be like a hive mind that was taking over.
Yeah, his telepathic emanations are infecting the minds of everybody on the planet. All right.
All right. And then did we actually come up with somewhere that went?
No, we didn't. That was pretty much the end of that, and I still am not sure where to take it besides making just kind of like references to Borg and other hive mind stuff already. Resistance is futile. All right.
That could be, I don't know, maybe every now and then Craig says, all right, and we look at him and ask him what he's talking about, and he says, I don't know, I haven't figured that one out yet. I don't know, I'm still workshopping that one.
Yeah, I definitely think Craig should be the source of it. Since he's an artificial intelligence, it should be his fault.
He's the most vulnerable.
Yeah, it's not like he has a real central nervous system. He's just a USB stick.
Yeah. The one that we have written immediately after that is you can't turn off the badonk, and I remember that was very funny. And I remember that was Stan.
Yeah, that was Stan, and I don't remember what the circumstance was.
Well, I think the crux, what's the catalyst? The inspiration, whatever. The inspiration was when Craig was signing in, he would do his little badonk sound effect. And I said, I can't turn off the badonk. And we said something about it would be funny if Stan said you can't turn off the badonk, which is his butt.
Yeah, I guess Stan just has like a doughy heart-shaped ass.
Oh, I remember there was every time that Stan's butt gets touched, it makes a little badonk sound. There was a sound effect.
I remember that. Does it
I
happen
can't
every time
remember.
he sits down, too?
Yeah, every time he sits down, it makes a little badonk, and somebody asks him to maybe turn it off or knock it off, and he says you can't turn off the badonk. And we thought that was fucking hilarious. And now I'm not sure why it was so funny.
Probably, you had to be there kind of thing.
You really did. I mean, I'm in the same place right now. You had to be then, I guess.
Yeah, you had to be then, because you had to be there at that time. But it's still funny, and we thought it was doubly funny because of how you could put that tagline on a T-shirt.
And I guess me describing it isn't as funny as if it was actually occurring, because then you have the audio cue before you have it referred to verbally as a badonk. So it is a joke. Okay,
yeah,
it's okay.
you kind of have to make a reference to the audio sound itself being a badonk. So it probably has to just go badonk, and then yeah, Stan said you can't turn off this badonk.
It's okay, I like it. It's good, it's funny.
But yeah, Stan definitely has a doughy heart-shaped ass to go with it.
I needed to do his model. I see him as a pink stuffed bear, yeah.
Yeah, why not? I did that, or he needs to have like a couple of spots on him where like a cigarette's been put out, so he's got like little blackened or grayed out patches.
Oh yeah, he'll have like oil patches, and I think he should also probably have like I was seeing like a crumpled like trilby hat or something like that.
Yeah, because he was wearing them before hipsters started wearing them, back when they were still cool, which means he's allowed to.
Am I talking about the right kind?
A trilby is like a
Hmm.
small fedora.
I think that's what I'm thinking of.
Back before the fucking Redditor neckbeards started taking them for themselves.
Yeah,
But yeah, he can definitely have a crumpled up little trilby, and but yeah, he's definitely worse for wear. He's seen better days.
absolutely. Okay, that's the bedonk. I'm not ready to come back to the thought yacht yet. We have written here that Columbo absolutely loves ladies' left shoes, and I think on the same night as when I was talking about my idea of a courier that keeps track of everybody that he visits, and the next night after we talked about that, somebody had their shoes out as I was dropping off food at like 1 a.m., and I was so tempted to take that left shoe.
That is where that came from, because Columbo is a fucking creep, and he's got a fetish for the left foot, but only because his mother beat him with the right slipper as a child. So
Oh, right,
he's
right,
come
right.
to adore the foot that didn't beat him.
like I like the foot that didn't beat him.
Yeah, it's not like he was ever particularly nice to him. It simply didn't beat him, and he's been conditioned to be to consider not being beaten as affection.
I'm trying to play it. Part of the hand that feeds, but this is the feet that beats.
The one foot that beats, anyways. The left one never did,
Yeah.
and that's why he collects ladies' left shoes, and is very attracted to like a one-legged woman who's got no right foot.
Right.
He was
That's actually
he was
his ideal
yeah,
woman.
he was putting in a lot of time and effort to try to find her.
Maybe we come back to that. I don't want to. I think that as I say these words, these are something that I'm going to end up editing out immediately. But I just wanted. I think it would be kind of funny if he used the dating service specifically for amputees.
That would be the kind of thing he would do. He's looking for somebody who's missing the right pin.
The service is called, because you go out, right? It's a dating site. It's called Out on a Limb,
That's brutal. I love it.
and their slogan is "Take a chance."
Oh, it just gets uglier. Oh, oh, it's so good. It's so awful.
It could be its own goddamn thing. Okay, I'm putting this in premises.
Yeah, put that in the premises. That's shockingly bad. It needs to go in there. And Columbo would definitely describe a woman's leg as a pin or a stem.
I like my gal to look like she's been to the florist. Her stem's trimmed.
Jesus Christ, what an awful man. It actually seems even worse now that I'm reading it. So yeah, it's definitely in.
It stays in the picture.
It's so good that it would almost be a waste to throw it in the bin afterward.
Maybe we're trying to throw it in the bin. Stan runs in and pulls it back out and says, "No, I like this one."
Either Stan or Columbo, somebody has to save it.
Yeah, for sure.
If Columbo saves it, he has to be like, "You took away my sea can. This is all I have left."
He's like the jerk.
Yeah, and then we tell him, "What about that job we got you on the Thought Yacht?"
Okay, that's how that introduces the thought yacht.
That's good. That's good. We should write that down so we don't forget
Okay.
that.
I'm putting it in my notes.
That is how we introduce the Thought Yacht. But Columbo, what about that job we got you on the Thought Yacht?
And okay, so 1 second, I can write that down because yeah, I need to start exploring this. This is what we're going out on for this one.
But even as we transition into the Thought Yacht, we never resolve whether we actually threw that dating site in the bin or not, so that we can use it later.
Yeah, of course. We threw it in the recycling bin.
Recycling bin for jokes, so it just comes right back out. It's like the take a penny. It's like a take a penny, leave a penny.
It's like a wormhole where you toss them in and they show right up back at the front door. I will tell you that I I own a Halloween costume, which is I bought it for $7 at Valley Village several years ago, and it is a recycling bin. So you just slide it over, and you look like a recycling bin. And I get to use it every year because it comes with the joke. You can say, "Oh, I'm just recycling the same old costume."
That's really clever. I wish I had thought of something like that back when I used to wear the same costume every year.
Yeah, right. I'm going as myself.
Actually, I went as Wolverine like 10 times.
Oh, okay. In the yellow onesie,
That's exactly what it was. The old one.
the blue and yellow.
Bright blue and bright yellow. I looked like a walking piss stain.
You look like a Tampax commercial.
Yeah, it was pretty egregious, and I wore it for way longer than I should have.
This is reminding me of like I moved schools every year when I was a kid, so I never really had friend groups. And I just remember moving. We moved to Port Coquitlam, and I was in the
First.
grade, and they were having. The schools I'd been in before didn't have. You didn't wear your costumes at school, but this school was a public school, so you did. So in this
First.
I did not have any friends, but I dressed up as Spider-Man and I just did laps around the school because that was all there was to do. And then all the kids who were dressed as the Men in Black started bullying me.
Well, I mean, technically you were a fucking mutant.
That's true. Hey, you know what? They were doing their job.
They were just playing their character.
They were role playing a bunch of 7-year-olds.
You were all role players, except, of course, for you, because you didn't exactly jump on the ceiling to get away from them or anything.
No, that would have been badass. I did end up beating up a kid so hard that he gave me his dad's Canadian Tire money.
When you tell this story, you always say you beat him up, but really you just chased him and his friend around the playground until they cried.
Did you ever go to Canadian Tire?
No, my dad made me give it back.
Fucking dads. That is a dad rule. You can
Right?
take his real money, but you give back his dad's Canadian Tire money.
His Canadian Tire money. You don't do a man like that.
Next time, take his real money.
But that was the message. Next time, take his real money. No son of mine. If you're gonna con a kid,
Don't take his Canadian Tire money. Don't do a man like that.
is that funny? Is this worth noting?
It is kind of funny. I don't know if it's a sketch. It'd be a real short one. You don't do a man like that.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe not specifically that story, maybe not specifically Canadian Tire money, but I'm liking the idea of taking very seriously. You don't do a man like that, and then it's something super innocuous, like not, yeah, I don't know, Monopoly money or something like that. Somebody's taking it way too seriously,
And they try
and we're addressing it like his kids are being
and they
taken
try
away.
yeah, and they try to exchange that behavior for something far more egregious.
Right.
Don't do that. Only villains do that.
Okay, I'm putting this as a premise because I want to finish. I want to finish the thought yacht. I'm not sure if I do want to finish the thought yacht.
It's basically just a floating palace full of Twitch thoughts. All of them in like hot tubs. Probably full of that wet ass pussy juice.
Why are they there?
Somebody's there.
Are they powering a device?
No. That'd be pretty funny if they were.
I mean, maybe they should be.
What kind of device would they be powering? The thoughts are all just like hamsters and wheels, or what?
Yeah, maybe this is the scene that comes before, and they're summoning the wet ass pussy.
So that's where it came from. It's a demon of our own creation.
Yeah. And so they're either powering they're powering a device that's on the yacht that is going to be used to summon the creature, or the being in the yachts itself is some sort of summoning ritual.
Let's stick with a device because I like having our reality and time warping devices. What's wrong with one more?
What's wrong with one more?
Nothing is wrong with one more. That's what I'm
No.
saying. We already
all.
have devices. Let's just stick to our guns with devices. They are powering a device. Somehow the way they're gyrating in their stupid little hot tubs for the Twitch streamers, for the Twitch viewers, is somehow powering this device. How's that work?
Well,
No, I've got it. The
Okay.
device is powered by the sexual tension created by all the viewers.
Oh my god, I love this. Okay, so it's like the Monsters Inc. screams.
Yeah, they're harvesting that sexual incel energy from all of the Twitch viewers.
Okay, this is great. Harvesting sexual tension. It's also sort of like Santa Claus runs off of like belief in Santa Claus.
Yeah, and if I recall, we had something similar in the premise where we went and visited Craigslist, where we had all of these not prostitutes on mechanized rails. Monsters Inc. just
Right.
keeps coming into it. That's it's all part of the same process, harvesting that energy. In fact, I bet Craig's behind this whole thing.
Oh, this is coming together, my friend. Okay. Craig owns the Thought Yacht.
Yeah, we basically ruined his list, so he had to create a mobile sex energy harvesting center.
Okay, and that's how Columbo got the job so easy.
Yeah, no kidding, that fucking pervert. He just kind of skulks around and goes through all of their left shoes.
He just- Well, okay, he doesn't. See, maybe he doesn't even actually have a job, but he says that he has a job. He claims to be security, and he's constantly just going through the girls' things while they're rotating around in these tubs.
No, he's definitely security. He's got a badge.
Okay,
They
right.
let him in. It's just that this entire enterprise is run by creeps for creeps. So I mean, he fits right in.
Oh, it's like a pleasure island kind of
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. And at the same time, they're also, harvesting additional funds. But the primary income is the thirst from those viewers.
Okay. And so Craig is generating this, he's harvesting the sexual tension, turning it into energy which powers this device. And so is the device used, are we connecting these things, linking them, or is it related to the WAP monster? Or does he have a different
I think
motivation?
I think if the WAP I think if the WAP monster does come out of this, it should be totally by accident as an unforeseen consequence rather than deliberate. Something malfunctions, and this great and terrible monstrosity gets set loose in our reality.
Okay.
But
So
that's not what Craig wanted.
does he want something else? So we never refer to it as a WAP, but he wants to summon something which is called something that WAP stands for. We'll come up for it in a little bit. But he wanted as a placeholder, he wanted the wonderful augmentative perch. And so he's trying to summon that thing. And then he's like, "Well, all I said in the prophecy or whatever, all it said in the prophecy was I need to summon the WAP, and that's when we slap our foreheads on our palms on our foreheads." And you go, "You idiot! It's not talking about the thing that you think it is. That's summoning the wet ass pussy."
And then somebody has a turn to Stan and tell him to get a bucket and a mop.
Yeah, exactly. And that's when the helicopter comes in. No, that's when it leads into that's when we see our Korean defector.
Yeah, that's when it will go to that. But yes, these are definitely two unrelated sketches that are just kind of like connected together in continuity, but we're seeing them in the wrong order.
Right.
Because the wet ass pussy
Oh,
attack
that's
definitely
cute. So it's
needs to air before it.
right. So the wet ass pussy airs before it, and then we lead in. So it's sort of a little what's that movie?
It's Tarantino
Yes, I was
time,
trying to
man.
say it's Royale with cheese.
Yeah, so it's Tarantino
Yeah.
time. So the Thought Yacht is directly causally responsible and linked to the wet ass pussy attack, but we don't know that until after the Thought Yacht airs.
Right.
And since the three amigos and their friends happen to be watching the news on that one, there's probably no harm in them being on the deck of the Thought Yacht too, because this technically occurs before they get thrown in the bin.
Right. And now they've been introduced, so they can kind of show up in like as cameos in their own scene, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're just sort of like in the background, but now we know who they are because we've been introduced. I like that.
Yeah, so they never actually have to loudly have their mariachi band playing. They just have to be there visually.
And it would be there because these are the sort of assholes, creeps that would be on the Thought Yacht.
Yes, definitely, and it makes perfect sense for Columbo to be there and to, of course, survive whatever calamity results in the summoning of the WAP, and then to be, like, by his own estimation, the very first man in line to dive in. Like, this is the best thing that he's ever seen. You know why? That thing has 0 feet.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true.
Sure, it's missing the left, but it doesn't even have a right. It could never beat anybody.
Oh, so that's actually, he's talking about what's so great about it, and then he has a line at some point where he goes, "And one more thing, no right feet."
And then in he goes, plummeting down towards the ocean, the wet ass ocean.
The wet ass ocean, the wet ass Pacific.
That's great. I want to keep that. The wet ass Pacific. Okay, we wrapped that up with a pretty neat bow.
Yeah, that was a nice little cycle. Well, it's just about 11. Do you want to wrap up now then? That was a decent amount.
Yeah, with the exception of the Discord outage, that was rich and dense. Because this is a writer's room, and if you run out of ideas, that's the end of the episode.
Well, and from what I understand, most writers' room end up spending most of their productive time like buying milkshakes and bowling and riding go-karts and shit. Playing GoldenEye in the green room.
Why don't we get to do any of that?
Because we got to earn our place or whatever.
Right. Okay, well, we just destroyed an entire city with a vagina. So, your move, other writers.
Yeah. If you're willing to step up, then we can talk about it.
Yeah, checkmate, guys.
Chess is too complicated. I like checkers.
Yeah, I agree. But at the same time, I'm not any good at checkers either.
At least you get to feel like a king.
In fact, I'm not even quite sure what the rules of checkers are. I just liked playing with the red pieces.
This has given me another premise idea. Does our world have like an emperor or something? Does the Tucker and Todd universe have a supreme leader?
On the planet, in the galaxy, or of the universe?
I don't know, because it's so expansive.
Well, let's keep it to the planetary scale for now. We don't necessarily want to have a supreme ruler throughout all of space and time. Otherwise,
No.
somebody's going to start sending the cops on us for all the time travel we do and mucking about with Hitlers.
And it would also sort of ruin or kill the purpose of Columbo.
Oh yeah, because he's just everywhere at all times.
Yeah. Too many things.
But yes, the Tucker and Todd world, at least their planet, definitely a dystopian dictatorship with like a supreme emperor guy.
I think so.
Yeah, or maybe it's an empress. Maybe it's a lady.
Oh yeah, that is here. I'm putting that in as well. I'm putting just in our premise folder. I'm putting diversity.
I mean, a lady tyrant is just as interesting.
Definitely, we need more ladies on our show. Lots of creatures because I was wondering today. Might be another thing that I might end up deleting. But I don't want to deliberately lampoon the phrase BIPOC, but I do think it's very funny that every couple of years there's a new term that you're supposed to call people who aren't white. And so I thought maybe do we have our own thing on our show that BIPOC stands for, and we constantly have characters on the show that are that thing, so that we're
interesting.
Yeah.
What kind of designation would that be then? If it's not what it is in this real world, what would it be in our world?
Well, I mean, POC could very easily stand for piece of crap.
We also need to be very careful what kind of meanings we do attach to these phrases.
Right.
It should probably be something benign. But I'm all for subverting their meaning.
Like, immediately scratches out piece of crap.
Well done. That's a contribution.
I'm growing.
Yes, you are like a vagina that emerges from the Pacific Ocean.
The Pacific Ocean.
That's what I said.
Oh, is that what you said? I was like, well, I heard that.
That's definitely what I said, but I tried to make it with as little emphasis as possible so that anybody who is listening might have just been like, no, that's not what you said. It was the Pacific. Yes, that's
Like
what I
that.
said, the Pacific.
Pacific Ocean.
The terrific Pacific.
That was
That's
one
what I
thing.
said. Come on.
George Carlin was always complaining about the Pacific Ocean of our youth.
That, oh, just pronouncing words very differently, but mean the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, the pacification of our youth. Yeah, I get it. Hi, Todd. I'm Tucker.
That's a lot of fun. That's a t-shirt. That's a Vietnamese t-shirt. Pacific Ocean.
The Pacific Ocean of our youth.
Yeah. Pacific Ocean of the American man.
If that's the case, that image has to just be like Columbo with his doing the thumb out of the water thing. You know, the Terminator thing,
Yeah.
thumbs up. The Pacific Ocean of the American man, and it's Columbo.
In the Pacific Ocean, yes, I like it.
Yeah, absolutely, because that's exactly where he wants to be. That sick fuck. Okay, so we can have a lady empress. In that case, she's gonna wind up being a lot like, probably like Star Trek's Terran Emperor. Just comically villainous.
Well, so I know we've said obviously okay, so in our joke bin, I'm putting this on the list now. One of our dead jokes might have maybe it needs to go in the recycle bin, but the Karen haircut needs to go in the bin maybe because Karen is everywhere in these bits, but because that trope is fun, I guess. I don't know. But you literally just said Terran Emperor or Terran Empress, and like a Karen Empress is like so close to that.
Yeah, I did say Terran because in Star Trek, the Terrans are evil humans from a mirror universe. They're just like comically villainous, but they are basically the Karen Empress. And yes, the Karen haircuts that we use once to go and visit Craig in the digital world then need to get thrown in the bin after that, and then no more Karen stuff. We don't want to upset everybody named Karen by doing that joke more than once.
But the Karen Empress is so good.
Well, then we're just gonna call her Karen.
Maybe it's not okay. So remember when we said in that bit we said that we would threaten to take it to the high table of Karens.
I remember.
Maybe that high table of Karens is run by this Empress character, and she doesn't actually have the haircut. She makes all of her followers keep that haircut. It's their like homage to her.
It's their homage to her, but she doesn't have that haircut. What kind of haircut does she have?
I don't know. Maybe she is that shape. Maybe she is a creature, which is the shape of that haircut, or she is that haircut.
That's pretty meta.
Like she's a cousin it kind of character.
Okay, so she is the Karen cut, and she is the Empress, and that there is the High Council of the Karens that we threatened to elevate our complaint with Craig up to, which means he actually
Right.
had a very good reason to be pissing his pants, scared by it.
Right. So we're given this context. Yeah, this is world building.
While also pissing off everyone on the internet named Karen.
Yeah, that's their mom's fault.
In this world, it's the Karen Empress's fault.
Yeah, true. I don't know. Like, I feel like that is sort of like a folk news story that's been going around. Is the reaction of like, I'm a person named Karen, and I don't appreciate all the bad attention we've been getting lately because of this meme thing. Does it hurt? Does it feel bad? Does it feel weird to be a Karen? I don't know.
I mean, we can explore that if you want, but I think it would be much, much funnier if somebody in universe asks that question, and then somehow we immediately do the "just kidding, I don't give a fuck" segue, and then move immediately on to something else.
I'm on board with that. I'm on board with that.
What does it mean to be Karen? And then, a brief moment of soul searching before we just immediately swap to the next scene. Just kidding, I don't give a fuck.
Hey guys, come in here. There's something on TV. Weren't you just asking about what it feels to be Karen? Music plays. In the arms of the angel. Hi, I'm a Karen. For the past few years, Karens have been looked down upon by almost all of society, and it's time for us to get our voice back. Well, away from me in the arms of... And then that's when we flick it off to black. I don't give a fuck about this.
Yeah, that would be showing an impressive amount of restraint to even listen to it that far.
Okay, we don't need to get that far into it, but I really wanted to set the stage.
And maybe, just maybe, you badly want to badly sing In the Arms of an Angel.
I wanted to.
Well, don't let me stop you. We're gonna do it. Or, I mean, you're gonna do it. I'm not gonna do anything.
It's done. It happened.
Yeah, I guess it did happen.
Okay, we can come back to all of these things later.
Yeah, we've got a Karen Empress now. And there is now a High Council of the Karens.
Yeah, so we'll have to explore their story later down the road. Oh, here, let me put that.
There's going to be a little fight there. You're not even really named Karen, and then somebody silences them. At this table, we're all Karen.
I wonder if somehow that's also someday a way into play on the Care Bear things. We never call them the Care Bears because in our universe they're the Karen Bears. And the Karen Bears are at war with the High Council of Karens because of a copyright dispute.
Are they Karen Bears, or are they just Care Bears spelled with a K?
Yeah, I don't know. It's something like that. I don't know. It needs more thought.
It's going to be a little berry that died on the vine.
It could be. Well, I think my brain is starting to turn into a berry that's dying on the vine.
Mine too, especially after all the Karen stuff. And listening to you sing.
Yeah. It's the opposite of a lullaby.
Yeah, if anything, that cow waitress was a little bit better.
Moo, moo, moo.
Medium well. I still have to write the script for that one too.
So many to do. Well, I mean, once I see one script and we kind of agree on a format, then maybe that's something that we can job that we can split between us a little bit more.
You already have so many jobs here.
Oh, that's what the voice in my head was saying. I need to make Columbo and I need to make Stan. Those are my tasks.
Stan, at least, will be a labor of love. Columbo is just going to fight you
Yeah.
at every turn. I just know it.
Well, I saw somebody I saw a video on YouTube the other day. Somebody did an anime tribute to Columbo, so I'm going to copy that a little bit.
Oh, I like that. That's like a brand new aesthetic for him.
Yeah. Steal from everyone. That's true art.
Steal from everyone, and then make it sound like you have more to say, but that's actually the end of the sentence.
Yes. I don't always tell dad jokes, but when I do, he laughs.
All right, you got me. That probably means it's time.
That's time. All right, sir. Until the next one.
Until the next one. Good night.
Oh, wait, we have to... Oh, right now, let's just you and me do so that I can clip it out and add it to every episode from now on. Hey there, I'm Todd.
And I'm Tucker.
Cool, that's it. Good night, Tucker.
Good night, Todd.
Fuck Tucker. Tucker sucks. And fuck Tucker's friend Todd.